Your body is only going to become stronger or gain more muscle based on the feedback that it's got. So if you go into the gym and do 10 reps of 135 on bench press after never touching a weight before, your body is going to say, okay, I need to grow some more muscle in these areas after they've already been broken down. I am going to make sure that next time you do this, you're able to do it more efficiently and easier. So the muscle breaks down, and when it comes back, the cross bridges are stronger and more effective at firing after you develop the movement mechanics and the muscular neural rhythm to execute the movements. The sync between your nervous system and your muscular system. The reinforced, never mind. Essentially, you have to induce the growth of your muscles. So you have to do more or provide a greater stimulus than what your muscles have seen before to expect strength or hypertrophy gain. Strength or more muscle, hypertrophy, more muscle. Now, some people say just train harder, just go at it more, longer, for more reps. That might be cool, but you want to keep your intensity up. You still want to think about the time that you're spending in the gym. Now, when I first started training, I decided that I wanted to spend 3 days a week in the gym and still train very intensely with the compound lifts in mind. So that's how I stumbled upon the push-pull legs program. It was 3 days in the gym, and I could put all those compound lifts into those 3 days. So sometimes something as simple as schedule maintenance can help determine what program you start off with. I'm not gonna say there are programs that are better for people than others. There definitely is. There are some programs that better suit some individuals. But for the most part, these programs have been scrutinized by science to a T, and you can look up a perfect push-pull leg program to get started. Take out what you don't like, substitute for some alternative exercises you might like better, or take out what you can't handle volume-wise. And that's how you get started. You start based on your schedule. What can you do? What can you fit in? What do you want to do? And that's how you get started on the training program that you want to stick to. Because you can get started on any willy-nilly program, and if you don't like it, you know you're gonna quit. You have to find a program that's best for you. Not everybody teaches you this, but you do have to restructure a program when you hit a plateau. Now you just have to think in mind of what are the fitness variables. Either you can change your frequency in which you perform the movement, the intensity at which you perform the movement, the time it takes to perform the movement, and the amount of tension that your muscles are under during the movement. So, some people say enjoyment is also a fitness variable. Enjoyment is great, but sometimes you gotta embrace the suck. Now, you change one of those variables when you hit a plateau, as in, you plateaued on bench press, you can't do it 135 for a set of 10, you keep getting 9. Okay, so you either bench more often, you increase the weight and try to go for less reps, you perform the set at a different tempo, which would encompass time and tension, like a controlled negative, something like increase components of the lifts with a pause bench, pause at the bottom, touch your chest, explode off. There is always a way to get past a plateau. Don't let anybody tell you that a plateau cannot be beaten, because it can't. We have seen it countless times. Anybody who cannot beat their plateaus are likely at their limit. You know, that's the best they'll ever do. Most people reach their genetic limit in their late 20s, early 30s. Male, female. Females might reach it a little earlier, but I would say most males reach it late 20s, early 30s. Programming. What program should you get started off with? Do you want to go full body? Do you want to go push-pull legs, upper, lower, the bro split, CrossFit?
I don't need to be inhaling your chalk dust while I'm mid-set, just so you can be hanging on to the pull-up bar that you're violently swinging from. While your friend's over there busy giving himself scoliosis for time with the barbell I've been waiting for since I got here. A couple of pull-ups. equipment just to make zero gains? This is like...
It's all up to you, but you want to think about how much time do I have to work out? What days, how many days a week can I work out? How many days a week am I capable of working out? Not how many days a week do I want to, how many days a week am I capable of working out? That's with time constraints and physically capable of working out. You don't want to take on too much too soon. Forgot to talk about the order of lifts. So, you want to perform your most important exercises first, in all cases, important to you. And chances are those are the heaviest exercises. Yeah, I know you ego-lifting bastard. Heavy important. It's of heavy importance. Yeah, I'll sit down. It's okay. I'll sit down. But your first 2 to 3 exercises should definitely be the lifts that are most important to you. And chances are those are the heaviest lifts. So knock those out first and then do all your accessory movements after. Your compound lifts, do those first and then do everything after. The only compound lift that I do not do before supplemental work is the weighted pull-up. When I do weighted pull-ups, I like to do my bicep work first. That way I feel like my biceps can't activate as much when I'm trying to pull and use my lats. Even though they're both working my biceps, it's just, if your biceps are pre-exhausted, I think it's a little more lat work going on with a weighted pull-up. That's all. And to some degree, your enjoyment should definitely be in consideration. You should enjoy your training, but you don't want to have your training be so enjoyable that it is ineffective. Just keep that in mind. Now, a compound lift, like I said, it's a movement that affects 2 joints. Science suggests that compound lifts are greater at stimulating muscular hypertrophy and inducing strength because they allow you to maximally load a movement in a particular range of motion that your muscles go through that is ideal for growth. Anytime somebody tells you to base your training around fundamental lifts such as a deadlift, a barbell row, a weighted pull-up, the bench press, overhead press, squatting, any one of those 6 movements, they're very effective movements. They all do what they say they're supposed to do. Science backs it up. Excuse me. Trainers will back it up. There's no disputing that those 6 movements are essentially irreplaceable in training. They're replaceable, don't get me wrong, with all the single joint movements that are out there now. You can still get gains from some single joint movements that would replicate that of the compound lifts. But if you're ultimately trying to get stronger, bigger, faster, compound lifts, find a way to get them done. Now, your exercise selection. Me personally, I select exercises based on feel and what science says. I know what science says, I know how I feel in the gym. If both of them support, I go with that exercise. Maybe I don't have the equipment, so I can't go with that exercise, so I do what I have. You have to be adaptable. It's not necessarily all black and white. I can tell you a spider curl is better than any other curl all day, but there's gonna be somebody that swears up and down the preacher is better. And I'm like, how? In the shorter range of motion, arms, full lockout, not full lockout, but it's whatever. Somebody will swear behind that preacher curl. They'll say it helped build their biceps, which are bigger than mine, and I should shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's just one variation of an exercise that on paper is not as big a deal as you think. Do the curl that you like. Please just do the curl that you like. As long as you are using your biceps to control the entire movement and getting a maximal contraction in your bicep. Then I haven't mentioned a program that's very popular among beginners, like doing a 3x5 or 5x5 strong lifts lifting type thing to begin. Now this is great. I actually did use 3x5 and 5x5 to increase my strength in a couple lifts. But the one problem with it is obviously you can't use it forever. Your weight isn't going to progress 2.5 pounds a week until the end of time. I can start right now. Say I do, just for example, 300 for 5 reps on bench press. I'm not gonna be able to go up to 400 for 5 without hitting any plateaus and thinking I'm not gonna change my training program up. It's just not happening. You have to keep in mind that at some point, that training stimulus isn't just gonna be enough. So you have to supplement with other accessory lifts to make yourself stronger. And even then, that's not gonna be enough. So eventually, yes, you will have to change your training program. At some point, you're gonna get to the point where you fail on, let's say you're doing a 5x5. You're at 195 for 5. You hit the first set. It was hard. The 5th rep went up though. You're on your second set, 195 for 5. You get the 3rd rep. 4th rep was hard. You try the 5th, you fail. And you've already been failing the last couple of weeks. This will be very frustrating to somebody that's new. Not realizing that now is the time to either introduce more volume to get stronger, if you are capable of it, or vary the training program of some type of way. Now, when I varied my training program for the 5x5, I added 2 more sets of bench. And, well, let's say this. I did 2 sets of 5 at the beginning of the workout, heavy, like as if it was a 5x5. And then I did a set of 8 and a set of 10 at a lighter weight. My very first time doing this, I could only get 5 reps of the weight that I was gonna do for 8. And I was like, that's weird. I lightened it to the weight for 10. I can only barely get 5 reps of that too. You are good specifically at what you train at. So if you do not train in a rep range of 6 to 10, and you've only been doing 5s for so long, you are gonna be really good at doing 5, but that's gonna be the only thing you can do. You have to have some sort of variability to your training and primarily work in the rep ranges and at the weights that you want to get better at. For me, I wanted to get more familiar with 225 on a bench press. I started lifting 225 a lot more, doing it for sets of 10s, sets of 5, then sets of 8, then sets of 10, until I'm capable of doing it for more reps. And that's eventually how I got to the point that y'all saw in my last video. Go check it out, see how many reps of 225 I got. Like I said, you don't want to progress too soon as well. There's gonna be a point where you're not getting sore anymore from your initial training program. You're gonna think, oh, I need more value. Not necessarily. Your body's getting a little more used to it. That just means the damage isn't as much as to the point where your muscles are sore to the touch. I don't work out if I'm sore to the touch. That's dangerous. That might be rhabdo area, who knows? Rhabdomyolysis, look it up in your feet. So you wanna think about progression as either in strength, volume, primarily strength and volume is how I think about progression. Other people might have a couple other goals, but as long as you're progressing in the amount of volume that you can handle and perform with good form, or the amount of strength or amount of weight that you can move with good form, in order to progressively overload over time. Progressive overload means doing more than you did last time. Then you are good to go. Ab training. If you have a weak core, definitely work on your abs. You should be able to do leg lifts without your hands under your butt. You should be capable of doing that. Well, you should be capable of performing a leg lift with your leg without having your legs under your butt.
What?
Like as in at your sides, leg lift. Using your core. That's how strong your core needs to be before engaging in any lifts. Did I get this from somewhere? No, I'm just saying that's a nice amount of strength to have in your core in order to complete a lifting program. Now, with ab training, you want to keep 3 things in mind. You have to be able to perform an exercise with twisting, some sort of rotation in order to target your obliques. You want to perform an exercise that is more lower ab focused and an exercise that's more upper ab focused. So an exercise where you are bringing your legs to your body and an exercise where you're bringing your body to your legs. You don't need to think about your abs as different muscles, even though they are different muscles. You want to think of them as a cohesive unit and strengthen the components of that unit. Just for a little reference, with my split, I'll talk about the 5x5. My senior year, I started doing the little 3x5, 5x5, just to get a little better at benching. I wanted to see how far I could take my bench, because my friends were saying, you know, I'm the weak link. No, I'm playing. It ain't never. I wanted to see how far I could take my bench press. So I began doing the 5x5. I got to a point where during that time, like I said, I could only do 225 for 1 rep. I was, by the summer, able to hit 225 for 9 and a cheat rep of 10. I wish I still had that video. I would love to show y'all. But the 10th one didn't count as much as I would like to think it did. But yeah, I did 225 for 10. Yeah, that's what happened. But after that, I continued to lift and progress and continued to add more value. And eventually, I stumbled upon the push-pull legs program. Did that initially. Enough value for me initially was just 3 sets of 5 for some of my 5x5 sets. I didn't even do all 5. I just did 3 and was sore to the touch. You have to understand what your limitations are. Your limitations are, what have you been doing? If you haven't been doing that, then you're not capable of doing it because you didn't. So do what you can do and then add value to that. Do what you know you can do. There is no need to rush this and get injured. Now, after push-pull legs, I was actually going to go into a 3-day on, 1 day off, 6 day a week type training style with push-pull legs, like more advanced, to where it's a hamstring focused leg day, a quad focused leg day, a horizontal push focused day, a vertical push focused day, a vertical pull day, and a horizontal pull day. But life and a pandemic happened, so I changed my mind. I just full body trained 4 times a week due to time constraints. And I actually do have an ab circuit joined into my full body, one of my full body days now. If y'all want to see my full body training series, it is coming soon. All 4 days, sample reps and sets included. I will give you the full series, the full workouts in the description. It is coming soon. Don't ask me when. Soon. And by the way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is just a quick reminder. That's all. Choosing a split and supplementation. I put these two together because this is kind of the last things you need to know before actually going to the gym. Supplements such as protein, creatine, a daily multivitamin, fish oils, things like that. They can be useful, but remember they are supplements, as in if you do not have an adequate amount of them, then you should supplement your diet, your training, your nutrition with this. So if you get an adequate amount of protein, don't take it. If you haven't been training a while, please don't take creatine. It'll ruin it. Train for years before you take creatine. I'm gonna have a 3 months on creatine video coming soon too as well. That's gonna be a very entertaining video. But please just hold off on the creatine use till you've been training a couple years. Now, the fish oils, yeah, that can be a very helpful daily supplement. I would suggest that most people take fish oils if they do not get an adequate amount of omega-3s and healthy fats. But like I said, it is a supplement, and if you get it in your diet, it is not necessary. Now, choosing a split. Pick one. Which one interests you the most? Which one do you know you will complete? Completion being when hypertrophy and strength gains begin to stagnate, or upon literal completion, as in there's no more weeks of training blocked out in the program that you purchased, acquired, stumbled upon, passed on from word of mouth, seen in a movie. Wherever you got your program from, it was the end of the program. Just stick to it, please. If you do every day of the training program that was designed by a a fitness professional. That sounds whack too. Don't get any fitness professional programs. Get a program from somebody who knows what they're talking about, somebody who is well educated, and design programs based on not just what they've seen, but science as well, because both should be taken into consideration, though one does not trump the other, because this is a relatively new field and not everything can be proven. So there's a lot of, oh, but science said this. Science says this is stupid. Science doesn't know anything. Shut up. These people conduct tens and hundreds of studies every year with patients that don't want to be there, that have no idea what they're doing, and are told to do something for free. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not. The validity of the research is up for your interpretation, but for the most part, most research is trustworthy. Science is important. Choose the split that best suits you. If you know you can only train 2 times a week, do full body 2 times a week. If you can train 3 times a week, maybe you want to do 3 days of full body, or you want to do push-pull legs. You can train 4 times a week. Full body is still an option. Push-pull legs, upper, lower, anything. Just don't do an odd number for upper, lower. Because I know it's going to be 3 uppers and 2 lowers, or 2 uppers and 1 lower. Non-leg hitting. Speaking of non-leg hitting people, there's some YouTubers on this platform that I do want to just make a statement on, who have no desire to improve the health and well-being of the public. They did not get on this platform to reach a greater audience. They got on this platform to make more money and reach a greater audience. I didn't say I ain't trying to make money now. Hey, chill out, chill out. I didn't say I wasn't trying to make no money. I'm trying to make money. Don't get me wrong. But there are people who will tell you anything to make that money. I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that. Most fitness people on YouTube are either former bodybuilders or former or current bodybuilders, professional athletes, fitness models, con artists. Those people, like I said, we'll put models and fitness models and Instagram models all in one block. Those are all the same people. Or somebody like myself who's really just a personal trainer trying to reach a greater audience and educate America at the same time. Is that too much to ask? No, it's not. You're right. So when I start a program that I designed for myself, obviously I don't have a set endpoint. My endpoint is when the results of the training begin to die down. Like I'm suddenly, oh, I am at a plateau for 3-4 weeks. Maybe I should consider changing up my training. That's when I really change up my training. I might stay on the same plan for 3 months. I might stay 6 months. If it works for a year, hell, I'll do it for a year. I'm not gonna be complaining. If I can come in here and do the same thing 4 times a week for the next year and still keep getting stronger and bigger, I'm gonna do it. And I think more people need to think about training that way. Please give your thoughts in the comments section. Give me a like. This is my first time like speaking on camera to an audience like this. How did I do? Talk about it in the comments. Subscribe. It's your first time seeing me. What's up? Say hello, I reply. Hopefully I can do more informative videos like this in the future. I would love to record my full body training sessions now, 4 weeks, or I'm sorry, not 4 weeks, 4 days of the training sessions. I would do sample reps and sets, all of that stuff included. Side rant, off note. I do not do video tutorials for exercises because that is oversaturated on this platform. Chris Jones has done it, Athlete X has done it, Jeff Nippert has done it. Everybody has done it, and they're gonna do it better with more technology and more money than I can, so why do you want to see me do it? There is people out there that have showed you how to exercise correctly. It's all over the internet. You don't need to see me do it to confirm it. Go to robertjohnsonfitness.com for coaching, nutritional plans, training programs, anything that may be on your mind. Please give me a like, subscribe, comment about anything confusing down below. This is the ending of this program series. If y'all want to see me talk about how to design programs on a more conceptual and more broad matter for like individualization of efficiency of training programs, then I can do that. Just let me know in the comments.